Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the Cleveland Browns lately, you know that this season has been a roller coaster. With a record of 2-6, it's not the start anyone envisioned, especially fans who have been dreaming of a deep playoff run or even a Super Bowl appearance. But as we know in the NFL, things can change quickly, and the trade deadline is always a fascinating period where teams evaluate their rosters and decide whether to shake things up. And right now, there's a lot of buzz around the Browns and what they might do, especially when it comes to veterans on the roster. One name that's been at the center of discussions is tight end David Njoku, a player who, despite the team's struggles, remains a key figure in Cleveland's offensive plans. Recently, insider Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com shed some light on the Browns' stance regarding Njoku and the potential of trading him before the deadline. And folks, what she revealed is quite intriguing. According to Cabot, the Browns aren't actively seeking to trade Njoku. They're not out there shopping him around, trying to unload the tight end just for the sake of clearing cap space or making a roster move. And this is a big but, Cleveland is listening. They're open to offers if someone comes with a deal that they simply can't refuse. That kind of mindset is pretty common in the NFL, especially as teams look to maximize value and prepare for the future. It's a classic, we're not actively shopping him, but we're not closing the door either scenario. Cabot mentioned on 92.3 The Fan that the Browns' plan heading into the trade deadline isn't to move Njoku. They understand his value, especially considering his past as a Pro Bowler and his importance in their offensive scheme. But as she pointed out, if someone comes knocking with an offer that makes sense, similar to what happened with players like Joe Flacco or Greg Newsome earlier in the season, they are willing to listen. That's the nature of the deadline, folks. It's about evaluating your roster, weighing options, and being ready to make moves if they align with the team's long-term goals. Now let's talk a little about Njoku himself. The Miami product has been a solid contributor for Cleveland, and he's had moments where he looked like one of the most dangerous tight ends in the league. His athleticism, hands, and ability to stretch the field make him a valuable weapon, especially in the red zone. But here's the thing. If the Browns do decide to trade Njoku, they have a ready-made replacement waiting in the wings. That's something that fans should keep in mind. Cleveland drafted Harold Fannin out of Bowling Green in the 3rd round of this past year's draft, 67th overall. And so far, Fannin has shown promise. He's hauled in 38 receptions for 352 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty impressive stat line for a rookie tight end in his first season, and it's clear that the Browns are confident in his potential. The fact that Cleveland is willing to consider moving Njoku, if the right deal comes along, speaks volumes about how they're thinking about the roster's future. They're not just making moves for the short term. They're planning ahead, ensuring they have a plan in place whether they keep Njoku or decide to part ways. And it's worth noting that this is not a team in full rebuild mode. The Browns still see themselves as contenders, and they're trying to build a roster that can compete at a high level for years to come. That's why they're carefully weighing their options, listening to offers, and still keeping their options open with a player like Njoku. But let's not forget, the Browns' season hasn't gone as planned so far. The injuries, the inconsistent play, and the tough schedule have all contributed to their tough start. Yet, it's important to remember that the NFL is a league where momentum can shift in an instant. The upcoming games, the development of young players like Harold Fannin, and perhaps a strategic trade or two could change the entire outlook for Cleveland. Fans should stay optimistic, because if there's one thing the Browns have shown in recent years, it's resilience and an ability to adapt quickly. And speaking of adaptation, the tight end position is more crucial than ever in today's NFL offenses. When you have a talented player like Njoku, who can block, catch, and stretch the field, you want to maximize his talents. But if the team feels they have a suitable replacement in Fannin and they get an offer that benefits their future, then making a move could be in their best interest. It's all about timing and strategy, and the Browns are known to be meticulous in their decision-making process. Now, why would a team trade a player like Njoku, especially one with his potential and past achievements? Well, sometimes it's about cap space, future draft picks, or simply trying to build a roster that fits a certain vision. The NFL is a business, and decisions are often driven by a combination of financial considerations and football fit. Cleveland's front office, led by their management, is always looking ahead, trying to position the team for sustained success. And if that means trading a veteran like Njoku for the right price, so be it. They're not just looking for any deal, they want the right deal, one that will help them in the long run. In the bigger picture, the Browns have been on an interesting journey over the past few years. After ending a playoff drought and making some significant upgrades, they're still trying to find their identity as a team that can contend consistently. They've invested in coaching staff, drafted well, and brought in key veterans. But it's clear that some veteran players, including Njoku, are in a delicate position. They're valuable pieces, but the team also has to weigh their future and how best to allocate roster spots and cap space. And don't forget, the AFC North is a fiercely competitive division. Teams like the Ravens and Steelers are always lurking, and any move by Cleveland could ripple across the division. A successful trade, or even the decision to keep Njoku and bolster their roster, could shift the balance of power. Browns fans are eager to see how this unfolds, especially with the NFL trade deadline approaching. As we look ahead, there's also a lot of speculation about what the Browns might do in the coming weeks. Will they hold on to Njoku and try to push for a better season? Or will they capitalize on the trade market and bring in assets that could help them in the future? The truth is, we won't know for sure until the deadline passes, but what we do know is that Cleveland is meticulously evaluating every option. They're listening to offers, weighing their options, and staying flexible, all signs of a team that's always looking to improve, no matter their current record. And of course, the fans are watching every move with bated breath. There's hope that this team can turn things around, that the pieces are in place for a strong finish, and that perhaps a strategic move could ignite a new wave of optimism. Especially with a talented rookie like Harold Fannin stepping up, there's a sense that the future might be brighter than the present. The Browns have always been a resilient franchise, and their history is filled with moments of overcoming adversity, which makes every game and every decision so important. So as we continue to follow this story, keep in mind that the trade deadline is a pivotal moment for Cleveland. Whether they decide to hold on to Njoku or move him for the right price, it will be a move driven by careful analysis and a desire to build a team that can compete at the highest level. The Browns are not just looking for short-term fixes, they're strategizing for sustained success, and that's what makes this season so fascinating for every fan who believes in this team's potential. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This team, this season, the future. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm here to keep you informed, engaged, and excited. Thanks for being part of this journey, and remember, every move the Browns make is a step toward their next chapter. Let's see what the coming days bring, but no matter what, the passion and support of Browns fans like you will always be the backbone of this franchise. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Browns.